The most expensive thing you will ever lose in this life isn't money, it isn't your house, and it definitely isn't your job. It's your time. Years of your life that you will never get back, wasted on a woman who was never built to build with you. Look around you right now and think about the man you used to be. Remember that spark in your eyes, that hunger for success? That version of you who felt like he could take on the entire world? Now look at yourself in the mirror. If you see a man who is exhausted, emotionally drained, and constantly walking on eggshells just to keep a temporary peace, then you are being hunted by a low-value spirit. This isn't just a bad relationship. It's a slow-motion car crash that is destroying your potential. Most men stay because they're afraid of the loneliness, but they don't realize that being alone is 1,000 times better than being with a woman who makes you feel lonely while she's sitting right next to you. You've been gaslit into thinking you're the problem, while she's been slowly sucking the life out of you like a parasite. If you're tired of being the man who settles, if you're done with the mind games, and if you're ready to finally reclaim your throne, then you need to pay attention to every single word I'm about to say. Before we get into the heavy stuff, do something for your future self. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join this brotherhood of men who are choosing clarity over confusion. Don't let another year slip through your fingers because you were too blind to see the signs. Let's get into the raw, unfiltered truth. The first hidden sign that you're dealing with a low-value woman is the accountability vacuum, or what I call the professional victim syndrome. This is the most dangerous red flag because it is designed to exploit your empathy. Straight up, this woman has never done anything wrong in her entire life. If you sit down and listen to her talk about her past, every single ex-boyfriend was a narcissist, every boss was unfair, and every former best friend betrayed her for no reason. She is always the hero or the victim in her story, never the villain. When she makes a mistake that hurts you, she won't apologize. Instead, she'll find a way to make it your fault. She'll say things like, "Well, I only did that because you made me feel this way," or, "If you were more attentive, I wouldn't have to look for attention elsewhere." That is pure gaslighting, no cap. A woman who cannot own her mistakes is a woman who cannot grow. She's stuck in a mental prison where she's always right, which means you will always be wrong. Protecting yourself from this means realizing that you are not a rehabilitation center for badly raised women. You cannot fix a person who doesn't think they're broken. The moment you see this pattern of shifting blame, you need to emotionally detach. Stop trying to prove your point with logic. She doesn't value logic, she values control. If you stay with a woman who has no accountability, you are signing up for a life of perpetual guilt for sins you didn't commit. The second sign is clout dependency and an insatiable addiction to the validation of strangers. We live in a digital age, but for a low-value woman, social media is her primary source of oxygen. Her self-worth isn't tied to her character or her accomplishments. It's tied to her likes, her followers, and the number of DMs she gets. Her Instagram feed isn't a gallery of memories. It's a thirst trap factory designed to keep a bench of other men interested. She'll tell you, "It's just for fun," or "You're being insecure." But let's keep it 100. If she's out here belonging to the streets in spirit, seeking attention from 10,000 random dudes while you're providing her with a real-life foundation, she doesn't respect you. High-value women understand that their beauty is a private luxury, not a public commodity. A woman who is constantly fishing for compliments from randoms is telling you that your validation is never going to be enough. She's addicted to the chase, the newness, and the main character energy. When the newness of your relationship wears off, she will go looking for that high somewhere else. To protect yourself, you must have a zero-tolerance policy for attention-seeking behavior that disrespects the sanctity of your relationship. If she values the opinions of a bunch of thirsty guys in her comments more than your peace of mind, she's a liability, not an asset. Don't be the simp who pays the bills while other guys get the free show online. The third sign is what I call the cycle of chaos, or drama as a lifestyle. Some men think that a woman who screams, throws things, or starts fights over nothing is just passionate or fiery. That is a lie. That is low-value behavior rooted in emotional instability. A low-value woman thrives on chaos because she doesn't know how to handle peace. If things are going too smoothly in the relationship, she'll manufacture a problem. She'll bring up something you did 3 years ago, or she'll get mad because of a vibe she felt in a dream. This is a tactic to keep you on your toes, to keep you off balance, and to see if she can break your frame. As a man, your greatest asset is your focus and your productivity. You cannot build an empire, lead a team, or achieve your goals if you're spending 4 hours every night arguing about why you didn't like a photo fast enough, or why you looked at another woman for a split second. This drama is a weaponized distraction. She wants to be the center of your universe, even if that means burning your world down to get there. Protection here requires the gray rock method. When she tries to start the fire, don't give her the wood. Stay calm, stay stoic, and don't react. If she realizes she can't control your emotions, she'll realize she can't control you. A man's home should be his sanctuary, his place of recovery after a day of war in the world. If your home is the war zone, you will eventually lose your mind. The fourth sign is financial parasitism and a total lack of personal ambition. Let's talk about this soft life and manifesting culture that's poisoning the minds of many women today. A low-value woman sees a man as a walking ATM or a retirement plan, not a partner. She has a "what's yours is mine" mentality, but she never brings anything of her own to the table. She wants the luxury vacations, the expensive dinners, and the designer bags, but she has zero work ethic and no desire to build anything of her own. She spends her day scrolling through TikTok and gossiping while you're out there grinding 80 hours a week to provide a lifestyle she didn't earn. This isn't about you being a provider. Every real man wants to take care of his woman, but it's about the lack of contribution and gratitude. A high-value woman is a multiplier. She takes what you give her and makes it better. A low-value woman is a subtractor. She takes your resources, your energy, and your money and leaves you with nothing but stress. If she has no hobbies that build her, no career goals, and no desire to be your helpmeet, she is a passenger who will eventually sink your ship. Stop spending husband money on girlfriend-level effort. If she's more interested in your bank balance than your vision for the future, she's a parasite, straight up. The fifth sign is a toxic social circle and the influence of the bitter sisterhood. You've heard the saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it applies to her too. Look at her best friends. Are they all single, bitter, and city girls who spend their weekends in the club chasing clout? Do they hate men? Do they constantly encourage her to know her worth? Which is usually code for leave your good man for a toxic one. A woman who doesn't have the strength to walk away from low-value, toxic friends is a woman who will eventually betray you to fit in with them. These friends are the ones whispering in her ear when you have a minor disagreement, blowing things out of proportion, and telling her that she can do better. She might act like an angel when she's with you, but when she's with them, the mask comes off. They are the judge and jury of your relationship, and they will always find you guilty. Protection means observing the company she keeps. If her friends are trash, the environment is trash, and eventually, the relationship will be trash. You can't build a high-value life with a woman who is constantly being pulled down into the gutter by her peers. The sixth sign is weaponized insecurity and the constant use of negging. A low-value woman doesn't want you to be too confident because she knows that if you truly knew your worth, you would leave her. So she subtly chips away at your self-esteem. She'll make jokes about your appearance, your income, or your performance. She'll compare you to her friend's husband who just bought a new SUV, or she'll talk about how some guys treat their girls better. This is a slow poison designed to make you feel like you're lucky to have her, when in reality, it's the other way around. She wants you to stay in a state of constant trying, where you're always performing to earn her approval. This creates an environment where you are walking on eggshells, afraid to make a mistake. A high-value woman is your biggest cheerleader. She sees your potential even when you don't. A low-value woman sees your potential and tries to cap it so she can stay in control. To protect yourself, you must recognize these subtle insults for what they are: manipulation. Never negotiate your self-worth with someone who is trying to devalue you. If she doesn't respect the man you are today, she doesn't deserve the king you are becoming tomorrow. The seventh and most hidden sign is conditional loyalty. She is with you as long as the vibes are good, the money is flowing, and the sun is shining. But the moment you hit a rough patch, maybe you lose your job, you get a health scare, or you go through a period of deep growth where you have to focus on yourself. She starts looking for the exit. She is a fair weather fan. She doesn't understand the concept of for better or for worse. She wants the finished product, the rich guy, the alpha. But she doesn't want to be there for the construction phase. You can see this in how she talks about other men who have fallen. She'll mock them or call them losers. This tells you everything you need to know about what she'll do when it's your turn to struggle. A man needs a woman who is a ride or die, someone who will stand in the trenches with him when the world is against him. If she's only there for the highlights, she's just an ornament. Protection means testing the loyalty early. Don't reveal all your resources at once. See how she treats you when you're down or when things aren't perfect. If she starts acting busy or distant, the moment things get hard, let her go. She was never yours. She was just using your light to brighten her own world. Protecting yourself isn't about being a hater or being red-pilled and angry. It's about being a man of high standards who understands that his life is a sacred space. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and definitely not everyone deserves a place in your bed. When you encounter these signs, don't try to argue her into changing. You can't argue someone into having character. Instead, work on yourself. Build your body, build your bank account, and build your relationship with your purpose. When you become a truly high-value man, these low-value patterns will become so obvious that they will actually be repulsive to you. You won't even have to try to walk away. You will naturally outgrow her. Stop settling for crumbs when you were meant to have the feast. Stay sharp, stay focused, and remember, your future self is counting on you to make the hard choice today so he can live the life you've always dreamed of. Subscribe if you're ready to level up. We're just getting started.